Hey everybody, Christian from Treasure Town here, and today we're going to be searching another half pound of world coins, going through and looking for everything from silver to cool designs, old ones we haven't seen before, something that's going to show a bunch of history that I'm not that familiar with. So the way it'll work, I'll pour it out and then we'll just start searching, and I can edit back in any information that I feel is important or to identify some silver coins. Looks like there's one right over there, and hopefully there will be some more inside. Let's hear a quick word from our sponsors and then we'll start searching. Before we get into this grab bag, I want to thank MA Shops for sponsoring this video. Their online marketplace, mashops.com, has a great selection of ancient US and world coins, paper money, stamps, and more. They've got a really good reputation, easy to use site, and they work with trusted dealers, so it would be a mistake to not head on over there and be aware of this awesome source for coins. Hopefully you can find something for your collection there, and with that being said, thanks to them again for sponsoring it, and let's get into the grab bag. And let's start things off. This is a pretty heavy coin. I know it's from Turkey because it's got the Turkey and then the Cumhuriyeti, but we also are going to see 2.5 lira, and I know that they had a major currency sort of destabilization and massive hyperinflation. I'm not sure exactly when that occurred. I want to say in the 90s, but I'm curious about the sort of situation that encompassed that and why exactly that happened. Here we have a South Korean 5 won coin. So you see a very cool sort of native to that country, Korean aquatic vessel. And let's see, after that we have the Republic of Liberia, really nice looking coin with an elephant on it, 1/2 cent from 1941. I'm curious who is producing this coin, only because I know Liberia had a lot of ties to the United States, but I'm not exactly sure what their monetary system at this point was really looking like. Here we've got, I think, 5 fen, 1991, from China. The People's Republic of China, so mainland. We also have a 200 lire here from Italy. They converted, I think it was pretty near 2,000 lire became 1 euro when they finally switched over in the early 2000s. Interesting how lots of different European countries had different outcomes there. 1975, Bahamas 5 cents with the pineapple, one of the fruit currencies, so pretty interesting there from, again, Bahamas. Interesting. This looks like it is from Hong Kong, 1960, 10-cent coin. There's always a huge amount of countries that have links to British rule, and Hong Kong's one of them, so the Queen appears on their currency. I believe they phased her out around like the early, maybe 1991, 1992. Then we also have a 5 centavos from the Philippines, 1921. So we see United States of America. I think it was about maybe 1898 officially when the United States became a protectorate, or technically, claimed control of the Philippines from the Spanish, and then they would lose it or give it up maybe July 4th, 1945, somewhere in that time range, but in the meantime had been producing a lot of the Filipino coinage, though they would have 75% silver when they were using silver in their coins. This is super, super worn. Wow. So it says, this, looks French at least, République Française. I'm not sure what the denomination, I assume 50 centimes because I see the CENT, and it actually looks like maybe 1892 or 1882. It looks like there's a little bit of a date left there. 83.5% silver. Hardly worth anything, but still really cool that we're able to get some good info on it. 10 groschen is 1/10 of a shilling from Austria. That was like 13.5 shillings became a euro, so very minimal face value there. Here we've got a Mexican coin, 5 centavos, 1965. That MO standing for the Mexico City Mint, which had been minting coins, since like 1535 or something. But this is demonetized because 1993 was the major devaluation of the Mexican peso. Here we've got a 1 penny or pingen from Ireland. They've got the harp or the lyre, 1980. Nothing super crazy or special about this coin, but always interesting. They've got lots of different depictions. Looks like some sort of a peacock or something. So that's pretty neat. This one looks old, 1912 2 Pfennig from the German Empire. So G, I'm not exactly sure if I remember. I think it's maybe Karlsruhe, but there's some different German mints that, they don't go by the first letter. They would just assign A, B, C, D, E, F, G all the way up. But, I don't think that there's too much value in that coin. Here we've got a 1930 Bulgaria 10 lev. So these always confuse me as being silver. I don't know what why they have the 814. I'd be curious to understand this design a little bit better. Cool with the horse. Lots of animal symbolism. Jamaica 1972. 5 cents with the crocodile. So we really are getting some cool symbols, whether it's like a peacock-looking animal or the various eagles. Or here's another Turkish coin. 1 kurush, 1968. I really like it. It looks, it's a nice sort of golden brown toning effect. A little bit of a gradient there. 5 centimes from 1980 from France. So that's also minimally valuable. Exchange rate about 6.55 francs to the euro. 1 agarot with a classic ship as well. This one being sort of Greek-Israeli, dating back into, right around Jesus' time. Half penny, new penny from Great Britain when they switched over in 1971 officially from the base 240 and decimalized to the base 100 pound. And here we have a silver coin, 1943, 2 shillings. We've got the Tudor Rose, which is sort of a symbol of, I think it was the houses of York and Lancaster coming together after the 1485 battle, and they came together under the House of Tudor. Since then, it's had this symbolism, and it's also seen, I think, on the 20 pence coin. So really, really cool. 50% silver, not crazy value, but you also have to remember this would have been produced during World War II. So super historic, always fun to get those types of coins. Here we've got a United Arab Emirates, 1 dirham, and I've been working on it. This would be 2014 is the date. And then over here it would be 1435 is the Islamic calendar year in which that was produced. This looks really cool. It stuck out. Guinea. V Centenario da Escoberta. So maybe some sort of 1 Escudo, 1946, 500th anniversary for this. And it looks to be Portuguese because they've got those 5 for the 5 holy wounds of Jesus and the 5 different castles. It's Portuguese Guinea or something, but I'll update you, and maybe it's a new country to add to my collection because I've never seen a coin like that. So that's maybe the coin I'm most excited about so far this hunt. Then we have a Peruvian 1977. Whoa, that's cool. Tupac Amaru, 5 soles de oro. So that looks like the Lima Mint, Lima, Peru. I'm not sure exactly what his significance is. They also have a major currency. I think it was until 1991. I think it was some sort of progressive left-wing governments that got in and were very sort of labor-focused, but ended up hurting the country quite a bit from an economic perspective. But since they've had really tight fiscal control and their inflation has been the lowest in South America, so they've done a really nice job sort of in a business-friendly turnaround, but there's still some conflicts in their mining, with labor. So always an interesting geopolitical situation to monitor. 5 pesetas over the years. First we see Franco, then we see Codillo. And you can see the year 1978. It says 75, but really you want to look in the star there for the year. So I always mention that. Let's see. Pesetas were 166 pesetas, became €1. This looks like German Empire as well. 10 Pfennig, Deutsches Reich, 1918. So towards the end of World War I. And it almost looks like that 8 could have a little bit of... maybe it's a repunching, maybe it's just, some wear on the die or something like that. Next up, we've got Macau, 1993. At this point, it was officially still ruled by the Portuguese, 10 avos, but population about 650,000. We saw a cool Macau coin, 5 patacas. That was, I think, 72% silver in the last episode. 1 new penny from Great Britain. Let's see, 1 cent, 1948 from the Netherlands, and then modern penny from Britain. Let's try to get to the good stuff. 25 cents, I don't recognize that, and that's because it's from the Trinidad and Tobago, which they have like 1.3 million population. A lot more people live there than I thought, but they've got their dollar. Another penny, let's see. That one looks kind of old. I don't recognize it. 20 Centavos Portugal. Again, let's see, 1949, Colonia de Angola. Whoa, that's really neat. So Angola. I had forgotten the Portuguese. We forget. It's like Brazil speaks Portuguese. They had huge presences in South America. They had Macau. They had a lot of, presence in Africa as well, I guess. But I hadn't quite focused on that quite as much. So I'd be curious to know when their colonial rule ended in Angola. I'm going to look that up. Then we've got a Urraca freedom fighter in Panama, 1996. I think he was really in... Urraca was like in the 1500s he was fighting, so a really, really long time ago. But the Panamanian dollar is linked to the U.S. dollar 1-to-1. We have a Suomen 5 penniä. So the Finnish kroner is now part of the euro. 1969 looks like we have the the ninth 10 or, and I wonder what king the R stands for. Probably some very Danish sounding name. They always have Christian, and that's my name, so I think King Christian, cool name. 1976 Greek 2 drachma. I don't know who that guy is, so sometimes I'm like, hey, I shouldn't be giving myself more work to go look stuff up, but I'm always interested. 2007 25 centavos, and we see Deodoro. I know he was an important freedom fighter as well, or he was fighting for independence at some point. I did it a few videos back, but I'll remind you because I'm unable to tell you off the top of my head, which is always my goal. Another 10 cent from Hong Kong. I always like to know it so that I can explain. Here's a 10 cents coin from Barbados, 1973. More sort of, Caribbean basically coinage to share. This one, I think I know it's Taiwan, $1, but it's Chiang Kai-shek, who fought for the Republic of China, which ends up losing to the People's Republic of China, which is currently mainland China, and they go into exile, and that's been a sort of tenuous geopolitical situation ever since as well. Here we've got a Chilean coin. SO is probably going to be Santiago for the mint. If I don't edit anything in, Santiago is correct. 1984, 100 pesos. Now I'm going to force myself to edit something in. I'm curious if they had any currency devaluation problems or not. That because 100 pesos just seems high to me. But a lot of the exchange rates, at least in terms of the how many dollars gets how many pesos, are often pretty lopsided in South America. Another Chiang Kai-shek $1 and a much older, probably presumably some type of cash coin. I'm not going to do the research on it. I'm very bad at identifying some of the really old Chinese cash coinage. 1965 half franc. This is interesting. 2 francs, 1941. So they would revalue in 1960 ahead of that half franc I just showed you. This would become equal to 2 centimes. It would be sort of take off 2 zeros, but they would use the 1 and 2 franc coins as 1 and 2 centime coins, whereas something like a old 50 franc coin would have been taken out of circulation as opposed to being used as a half franc. So Brazil 1 Cruzeiro, 1979. They certainly had multiple revaluations all through the 80s and 90s. Italy, another 200 lira coin. Ooh, and we have a big silver coin right there. First, we got 2 Japanese 1 yen fines. We then get another 1977 Peruvian Tupac Amaru 5 soles de oro. So that's really neat. I like how the luster looks. Another Trinidad 25 cents. A lot of repetition today, which is interesting. And then we get the Filipino 1944. I'm not going to get into too much of the history that I repeated, but 1944S. This was a San Francisco minted coin, and I believe in 1944, I will edit this back in. I don't know how Philippines fared, but I think that they were taken completely over by Japan, at least in sort of the earlier part of the war, as Japan had a vigorous campaign of taking over tons of different islands in the Pacific. Of course, we got involved when they struck Hawaii. So being part, a major set of islands in the Pacific. Over here we see Lady Liberty, and then she's got a anvil. That's Mount Bayon in the background, which is a volcano in the Philippines. But I think value-wise, I want to say this is like a $10 coin. So it's pretty cool how you can buy a nice piece of history like that for about $10. Really, really cool. Here's a Libertador 1977 25 centimos, Venezuela. They've gotten crushed with inflation, have a ton of oil production capability, but have really struggled in terms of how they are governing. An Aruba coin, 1992. 10 cents, I would think, but maybe it's something that's not cents. I was under the impression, is Aruba part of the... No, it's Anguilla. So maybe Aruba is on their own for currency, but I don't even know when Aruba was founded, how many people are there. So I'm going to go find out. And then to close things out, we've got a 20 centésimos from Uruguay. We have a 1931 E, so I don't know where E is from. I think it's Muldenhütten. 1 Reichspfennig from the German Third Reich, I assume. So sort of in the run-up after their hyperinflationary period. I'm curious what, how they ended the hyperinflationary period as well, what sort of standard they brought in. And then a 1968 1 ore from Gustav VI, the King of Sweden. So really cool group. I think a little less in terms of anything hyper valuable, but this is a great historic coin. Really like the larger denomination. I once talked to a pretty prominent collector. He said, always collect the big stuff. And he was talking about US. Buy the dollars, buy the half dollars, buy the $20 gold coins. People really like collecting the big coins. So that's the big Filipino coin. So maybe Filipino US at least. Maybe shoot for the large size coins, and that would be the one to collect there. Though I think that would also overlook a lot of really cool other ones. So thanks for watching. I'll see you back next Tuesday with another one of these coin searches, and I'll be excited to see you there. Thanks for watching the video. I'd encourage you to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel to stay updated. I've also got Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, so you can follow me there. TreasureTownYT.com is the main channel website. Definitely give that a visit. I've got a lot of information about me up there and the channel. CoinGrabBag.com as well currently redirects there, but it's some good opportunities for very fair grab bags, both made by me and other sellers. A lot of different options, so that's a good way to support. There's also TreasureTownCoins.com. In the future, my coin dealing operation will be done out of that website. CoinMeltPrice.com for updates on the melt prices of your coins, both US and world. A lot of resources in that website. And then CoinsMetalsCards.com being developed right now as a marketplace and news source for coins, metals, cards, and collectibles in general. So I'll see you on my future videos. Looking forward to seeing you there, and hope you have a good day.